We have a Garmin GPSMap 740s on the bench. Customer complaint is unit will not power up. Customer did send in the power cord with it, which we're going to use. We just hooked up the other end to our 12-volt bench power supply so we can monitor current. And I see right now, without anything being pressed, no power button, nothing, it's drawing 195 milliamps. Press the power button. Nothing's happening. Still 195 milliamps, 94, 95. Nothing. Okay. Let's tear this thing apart. So we took the back off this Garmin, what is it, 740s? Yeah, GPSMAP 740s. We took the back off, and we've had similar issues like this in the past. So just visual inspection, everything looks okay. Just checked it with a thermal camera real fast. Everything seems okay, like no hot spots or anything like that. There's a battery back here. We did a video on this before. But there's a little coin cell battery. If you could see it, it's hard to see. It's right here. Let me get it under the microscope. Here, let me take off the power connector. It's super bulky. Just give me 1 sec. Come on. There. There you go, a little coin cell battery right here. And this guy right here is reading 0.5 volts. And that's not correct. So this battery's dead. This battery, I can almost guarantee, is preventing this unit from powering up. We don't have any of these batteries in stock here. We do have some small coin cells, I believe, from the last repair we did. Let me see what we got here. Oh, why not? No, I don't. Well, I don't have any, so I gotta take off real quick to a little local store here, see if they have any coin cell batteries, and I will be right back with. Okay, we just got back from the store. This is what we're gonna use right here. Energizer 377. This is a double pack. Really inexpensive compared to the original little lithium coin cell battery. I think these go for, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 bucks, something crazy like that. If I can get this thing to focus. Of course, it would have to be special ordered. I mean, you can get them on eBay and probably AliExpress, other places, but we really don't have time for that. We gotta get this unit out. We just got this unit, I think we got this in yesterday, so it's been sitting for a day, and the customer wants it back, so that's what we're gonna do. These lithium coin cell batteries are 1.55 volts. That's important because some lithium batteries, like the 2032s, the larger coin cells, those are 3 volts. So 1.55 volts. Oh, by the way, the original had tabs. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus. That had tabs on it, as you can see. It's sort of like, I don't know, spot welded in place or whatever. These replacement batteries do not have tabs. So what we're going to have to do, which I do not recommend, you never want to solder directly to any battery really, but especially these coin cell batteries. I mean, they could explode, so you want to be careful. So I'm going to do it. I've done it in the past. I have never had an issue, but I'm very fast with the heat. When I'm soldering this thing on here, when I'm soldering wires onto here, I'm quick, very quick. I make sure I have a hot iron, put some flux on there, and I hit it quick with the heat. So I don't want to leave the iron on there and just let the battery boil. It will pop. And you want to make sure you wear safety glasses when you're doing this, obviously. So let's... Okay, good enough. Okay, now on the top of this battery, the top flat side is positive, and the opposite side is negative. That's negative side. Okay, so positive side right there. So what I'm going to do is throw a little flux on there. My iron is not hot, so let's get it hot. Okay, we're almost at 700. Okay, we're at 700 degrees Fahrenheit on the iron. Iron tip looks good. Let's find some wires here. I guess this should probably work just fine. So we'll strip that. Excuse me. We're going to tin these wires. Good. Okay. Make sure you got your safety glasses on here. And let's get this real quick. Boom, done. Real fast. Okay? Let's solder this positive wire on here real quick. Again. Boom, done. We do not want to leave the iron on there. We don't want to get a face full of battery goo. I want to avoid that. So let's throw a little flux on the negative side of the battery. And also, you don't want to short. This ring around the battery is still the positive side of the case of the battery. So you don't want to bridge the center negative side with the positive side. Obviously, you're going to short your battery. That again could cause the battery to pop, or obviously it's just going to run down the battery. So ready, quick, 1, 2, done. Okay. Looks good. We're not shorting. Let's take our negative wire. If you can see that there. Boom, done. Okay. We are all set here. I'm going to cut this wire because we don't need it that long. Save that for another job. Okay. Tin these guys. Done and done. Take our voltmeter. Let's see. Here, let's do that. You can see that. Looks like I need a battery in this guy. Anyway. There we go. 1.59. Beautiful. Cool. So let's a couple more things. So we're going to clean this real fast. Clean the battery. Just get some of that flux off of there. Just throw some isopropyl alcohol on it. Just clean a little bit. Because we're going to put this whole thing in some heat shrink tubing. So good. There we go. Let's see if I can... There. That's our positive side. Negative side. And as you can tell, the negative and positive are not shorting. That rim is right there, so if we bridge that, like I said, it would short the battery, which would not be good. So we're going to take some heat shrink tubing. See what we got here. This should be more than good enough. I'll just take a little piece off here. Okay. put the heat shrink tubing over the battery. Now, when we heat up this heat shrink tubing, again, we want to limit the heat on this thing. We don't want to heat up this battery, have it boil, and poof, pop on us. So we're going to be careful. We're going to go easy with the heat. We're going to use our cooler heat gun that we normally use for heating up digitizers and things like that, screens. So let's do this here so you can see it. There. That's it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our board here. We did label the positive and negative side on the board. The bottom trace, or the bottom pad, is positive and the top is negative. It's hard for you to see there with this camera. So I'm gonna okay. Okay. This looks good. Let's measure our voltage just to make sure there's no shorts there. If there's a short, we're going to get 0 volts. If there is no short, we should get that 1.59, or it's rated at 1.55, but we're reading 1.59. So we're good. Beautiful. Okay. Let's clean this up with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. IPA, as they call it. Then I'm actually going to take a little bit of take a little bit of solder mask. Throw it on there. Don't really need to. Nothing should be touching this, but let's do it anyway. It's not going to hurt anything. Throw some heat on that UV mask. It'll cure much faster. So let's do that. Okay, done. So let's see if this did the trick here. You know what? While we're here, let's just throw a little tiny bit of hot glue on that battery to keep it in place. Probably not necessary, but we've gone this far, so. Perfect. Let's get this board back in place. Give it a shot. connect our backlights here. We don't need it for testing, but we'll connect our SD card reader. What else we got here? Power button we definitely need to test. Or we need it connected in order to test, obviously. Let's see, come on. Alright, let's see if we did it here. Okay, everything's connected, nothing shorting. It's a gasket we gotta make sure we put back on there. And power supply's on. Fingers crossed. And it does not work.
Dang, that didn't work!
Alright, so strange. Alright, well, let's make sure we got 12 volts on our board here. We do. Okay, we got 12 volts. Alright, well, we're going to take the board back off. Okay, so off camera we did some more troubleshooting, and we found the problem, I think. The flash chip, it's a ScanDisk flash chip. It's on the opposite side of this board, under a metal plate. We reflowed that flash chip. So it would make sense to me that this battery retains memory. That's the purpose of the battery. It retains some sort of memory in the device, right? Okay. Well, that battery was dead, so we know that was definitely a problem. And because of previous experience, we know that when we had no power on conditions and that battery was dead, the device wouldn't boot. So we replaced that. We replaced the battery. The device still didn't boot. So if we think about that, well, that kind of leads us down a little bit of a rabbit hole, right? We checked the processor, it looked okay. We reflowed the processor, tested it, still wouldn't boot. Okay, that takes the processor out of the equation there because we already tried. Of course, reflowing isn't the end-all be-all. I mean, there could still be issues with the processor. You know, there could be issues with the balls underneath the processor. So, I mean, you could remove the processor, you could clean it, and you could reball it and resolder it. So, but we're not at that point yet. So we're just trying to chip away at all the possible causes. So, processor, we decided to consider that not the issue. Okay, so we moved on. We moved on to the flash, right? So we went ahead and did the same thing. We put fluxer on the chip, we reflowed the chip, and we're going to test it now. So Processor reflow on the processor did not resolve the issue. We just reflowed the flash memory on this unit, and because the little coin cell retains memory for the system, it would make sense that if there was a problem with the flash, whether it be bad flash or maybe cold solder joints or something like that, it would cause an issue. So let's test it. Now I do notice we again reflow the flash. I do have power connected. I'm looking at my power supply. I do not have the 195 milliamps being drawn anymore. So we either, in my opinion, fixed it or we broke it some more. So we're going to test it. So right now we have like pretty much 0 being drawn from the power supply. Let's try not to short anything on the board. That would just give us more grief and problems. More issues to fix. So if I can do this with the camera. Ready, and 3, 2. Look at that. So flash. It was flash memory on this one. It was definitely also the battery. But in this case, the battery didn't prevent it. Wasn't the only issue preventing it from booting. It was also the flash memory. Ooh, it was a little bit tricky one, but we got it. I'm just kind of explaining the highlights here, but behind the scenes, we did troubleshoot the board. We checked voltages. We had our 12-volt rail. That was fine. We checked several capacitors. We didn't see any shorts. So there we go, guys. Look at that. Beautiful. We didn't see any shorts on any of the rails, so that seemed fine. So we kind of knew that, well, I don't think we're dealing with any sort of power supply issues. It seems something else. Something with the logic side of the circuit, because for it to draw 195 milliamps, it's kind of odd, and there was no heat on the board whatsoever. So that's it. All right. Replace the coin cell. Be careful soldering leads onto those coin cells. They do explode. And we reflowed the flash. Awesome. Well, I'm sure the customer's going to be super happy. We put a little more time into this than we were expecting, but we gave the customer an estimate. We're going to stick to the estimate. We learned a little bit here, so we'll chalk it up to a learning experience too. So now next time we get a 740S, no power condition, we know right off the bat if it's drawn around 195 milliamps, well, let's check that battery, which we did because we knew that previously. If that's not going to fix the issue, next thing we're going to jump to now is that flash chip. So if you guys have anything else, if you guys have anything rather you need repaired, feel free to contact us, rudolphrepairs@gmail.com. You can go to www.rudolphrepairs.com. You can fill out the free estimate form or just go ahead and mail something in. If you don't fill out the mail-in form, which I recommend, just remember to put your name and a return address, preferably phone number, email, in the box also. So that's perfect. That'll let us get a hold of you once we get the package in. And any questions, let us know. Otherwise, see you guys next time.